Without a shadow of a doubt, the worst Rangers manager in my lifetime, the worst Rangers manager in the modern history of our football club. In fact, I'm looking back and I can't find a worse Rangers manager than Russell Martin. Paul Le Guen was better. Pedro Caixinha was better. And even if you want to look further back, you can. John Gregg won a double with a football club, even though he's the season that they compare it to, he started with just as poor a record. Russell Martin is not a football manager. He just simply is not. That performance today against a newly promoted Falkirk team, 89% of that, 89 minutes out of 90, Falkirk dominated us. We got one good bit of play, got a ball into the box. Imagine this, we got a ball into the box for the striker in front of the goal and he scored, right? I know that's crazy thinking to Russell Martin, but we got a goal that way. And then just, that was it. That was all she wrote. And Falkirk absolutely destroyed us. They can be absolutely gutted that they've came away for that game with a draw, and we can find ourselves extremely fortunate that we got a point out of that. Russell Martin, Patrick Stewart, Kevin Felwell are slowly but surely killing this football club. And if change isn't made tonight, then what's the point? Just there's no point in anybody going to Ibrox. There's no point in any of the way supporters going to games. There's no point in people giving up their time to come on and do podcasts, talk about the football club, because what is the point? What would be the point? The board, if the board don't sack him, they don't care. The owners don't care, the board don't care, so why should the supporters care? Why should we care anymore? What's the point in following a football club where nobody in positions of power give a damn about it? And that includes the manager. I really don't know. I'm Martin, I'm your host. Normally a bit more positive than that to start off a show. But I am joined tonight by my co-hosts Ian and Craig. Ian, how are you?
I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. I'm only here because I said I would be. I did Thursday night. I know how Craig feels now. Every single reaction he ever came on, this is what he felt like, because this is all he ever got through. It's just, I would love to tell you that I'm all right. I'm not. I am angry. I'm not even angry anymore. That's the worst of it. Is I'm not angry. I've come to expect this. I said to Craig before we came on, before you graced us with your presence, that that I don't get excited for the games. I don't expect us to win. It's just about if we get something out of the game. And I'm 46 years old. I have never felt like that. Even in the darkest of dark times, even when we came back, it was still, I think we can win this. Not to the point that I think we're going to win the league or anything like that, but going into a game, even against Celtic when we were getting battered, if we get this right, we can win this. Don't feel like that anymore. And that is heartbreaking. My son, who have just managed to get into wearing Rangers tops and go into Rangers games because I took him up last season, is not interested anymore. So there's a generation of kids out there that are just not going to be bothered, because why would you? Like you say, what's the point of following a football team that does nothing every single week? That's where I am. That's where I am.
No, that's what everybody is, mate. I mean, Craig, Russell Martin has ripped out any enjoyment of following Rangers. As long as he is the manager. I mean, see, when we scored to make it 1-0, I literally did not move, did not smile, did not get up off the sofa. I just sat there as if I was watching an English game that I couldn't care less about. Because I knew, you knew, everybody watching knew what was going to happen in that second half. Everybody knew that we weren't going to win that game. And actually, I was sitting there as we went 1-0 up thinking, I think we can still lose this.
Yeah, I, 5 minutes into the game, picked up my phone, sat on my phone while watching it, and my missus turned to me and said, I find it hilarious how you're watching the game. And I said, if it wasn't for the fact I put myself down for the reaction tonight, I probably wouldn't be watching it. So because I'm not really in the mood for watching it. Russell Martin is yeah. Isn't there an old saying that not all? I'll probably annoy some people now that drive a certain car. Is it that not all people who drive BMWs are arseholes, but all BMW drivers are arseholes? Something along those lines. Not every. I'm not in every bad reaction match, but every reaction I'm on is a bad one. It just seems to be that's the way it goes. yeah, today was
I
just
understand a word of what you just said, but absolutely understood it at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
I think it shows where we
I
are.
completely butchered it. But yeah, every time I'm on a reaction or a pod, it seems to be on the back of a bad result. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. I am constantly refreshing my phone underneath the computer here, hoping for an announcement at some point. I'm hoping the fact that he was walked across the pitch to a car would make me hope that there's some form of announcement coming. Then he's maybe been told to go away and never come back. Because I would assume that normally the manager comes to the games and goes to the games and leaves the games on the coach with the players. So that's a new one to me that he's walked across the pitch, and maybe he was just worried about the people that would be outside the stadium, who would take their mentality and let him know what they actually think of him.
I mean, the fact that the players couldn't get onto the bus an hour after the game, Ian, the fact that Russell Martin needs to be taken to a private car to get out the stadium, to get away from it all. I mean, that you can't get any clearer than that. That whatever you are trying to do isn't working. And we'll come to Martin's post-match comments, and I will play his post-match reaction as well. Some of the nonsense things that he's said in that. Can't get much clearer to the board. Look, this is done. This is over. Just do something about it.
Well, you could say that, but we've been told countless times, week after week after week, we don't listen to the outside noise. That outside noise isn't really noise anymore. It's a scream. It's for a loud hailer. It's putting the windows in. Well, it probably won't be putting the windows in, but you know what I mean. It started with a simple sign: act now before the seats are empty. I'll tell you what, when we come to play Dundee United in a week, 2 weeks' time, those seats are empty.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from a few hardened few, like our Wilf, he'll be there because Wilf's always there. But it'll be the lone voice shouting at him, and he'll be the one telling Russell Martin where to go, because as far as I can see from his comments tonight, he's done with him. For the going across the pitch and getting into a car, I think I put it in our group chat, so it wouldn't surprise me if Russell Martin drives to every single game, just gets on the bus before they turn up into the ground, because being on the team bus is probably beneath him somewhat. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's a normal thing. Walking across there with his backpack across both shoulders. He didn't grow up in the 90s, did he? Cool kids right on the one shoulder.
Sort of reminds me of the Jim Goodwin thing, at Aberdeen, when he just walked across the pitch.
But what came after that? When Jim Goodwin walked across the pitch, he was told, don't come back in the morning. You're not coming back on the bus with us because you're sacked. So let's hope it's the same thing.
I mean, I very much doubt it, but I don't know. Right, I'm going to get this out the road, folks. Right, and I apologise, but I think it's important that we listen to it all, because there's some things in here that we really do need to come back and discuss. The actual game now is more an irrelevance, I think, to what the actual main problem, the systemic problem is at our football club, which is the manager, Kevin Thelwell, and Patrick Stewart. And the owners don't get a free pass either. If nothing's done about this over the international break, then it turns to the owners as well. And just, what is it that you want to come into Rangers and actually achieve? What is it that you want to do? Do you want to alienate every single supporter? Do you want every supporter to just give up? Do you want to continue with your hospitality, not selling out? Do you want to go for 13,000 empty seats to 25 to 30,000 empty seats? Do you want people to start cancelling their season tickets? Do you want the away support to dwindle to basically nothing? What is it you're trying to achieve? Because that is all you're achieving right now. With the state of the team on the park and with the management and coaching team that you've got in place. You're multi-billionaires. You can afford to sack a manager. You can afford to take the hit on the mistakes that you've clearly made. And if that also means, by the way, taking Kevin Thelwell and Patrick Stewart out the occasion, that's what you have to do. But let's hear from him anyway. Hopefully, and I say this as somebody who genuinely thinks actually that it is going to happen. Hopefully, for the final time, the supposed Rangers manager, Russell Martin.
Thoughts on the end of today's game?
The same as it has been too many times. It's frustration. Difficult conditions. We spoke about having to fight and battle. We did that early on in the game. We're under a bit of pressure. Grew into the game, got better and better, had some good moments, didn't make the most of them, the final decision, the final execution of the pass. I felt like we were getting more and more comfortable as the game went on, and thought we were going to go and score another one. And then we have a moment where we compete, we come out the wrong side, happens too many times, and it takes deflection and goes in. So I think they were only going to score in that sort of way, and of course the game becomes open again, which has happened too many times because we then have to go and try and fight for a winner.
You're seeing frustration happening too many times. Why is that?
We had a good chat in there with the guys. The players had a real honest chat with each other. I gave my thoughts, and I think that will stay in there. But as long as we have an understanding there, but it's just like too many big moments we come out on the wrong side, really. So it's frustrating.
That shouldn't be becoming of a Rangers team, though. Is that the worrying thing, that it's been repeated time and again?
Yeah. So from the guys that have been here for quite a while, they've in the change room said they've been saying the same thing for a long time. So maybe it's not just right here and right now. But ultimately, it's my job to try and address it. So I have to take responsibility for that, because there's just too many occasions where it's like a toss of a coin if we're going to come out with a ball or not, or if we're going to really show for the ball or not. So, like I said, some of the stuff was fine. Some of the football we played, fine. It needs to end up in more. But then we've come out on the wrong side in another big moment where we challenge for a ball and we don't quite get it, and then we don't adjust and make up for that mistake.
You were brought in to make that change, and you mentioned it's historical. It's not just this season, but why do you feel it's not improved so far?
I don't think it's one reason. I think there's a lot of reasons. I think, like I've said many times, we're embracing a lot of change. But there's no excuses. Like, the team ultimately is a reflection on me, and it has to be better and it has to do better. So I need to take responsibility and look at that myself. And I understand some of it. Some of it is more frustrating than it is to understand. But I have to keep working. What
have you learned about yourself then in this period, and where do you feel you've got it wrong and you maybe need to change?
Like, I loved Connor Barron's performance. I think maybe I've been like some people deserve to play a bit more than they have. But like I said, there's so many things. So I could sit here and think about it all night and give you lots and lots of answers. And it's never down to just one thing. So it's like many small things add up. But yeah, I'll have to have a look at it.
Does that make you more determined, or is there ever a stage where you think, you know what, this isn't changing, the fans aren't happy, maybe I have to look at myself and think, am I in the right job here? Do I want to do this?
No, I've never given anything for my life, and it's always gone pretty well for me. So no, not even come into the equation. I'm not in control of that. So I'll keep working with the players and everyone else and the staff, who I feel have been so good with us, really. The staff, the players, especially in the last few weeks, have really good connection, good understanding, really hungry. And they just can't quite translate that onto into results at the moment.
The fans will hear that and think, yeah, but it's not improving. Do you understand where that frustration comes from?
Has been improving a lot. Today's a difficult pitch, different conditions, we're 1-0 up. We should go on then to score a second. And we don't, and it costs us. So, but there has been improvements, maybe not in results, but performance a lot. But yeah, I know everyone just wants to win games.
I was just going to say that, yeah, does it ultimately come down to results though?
Yeah, but like this thing here at this club, and I hear everyone saying it all the time, you just have to win. You also have to have a way to win and a way to learn and grow and develop. You can't just win sustainably, in my opinion. You can't just win. Also, you can't just win if you don't have like a team of seasoned men with thousands of games under their belt collectively that know and understand. We haven't got that. We've got a lot of young players that are growing into it. And they need a lot of help. My job is to keep trying to help them, and I'll do it until I'm told not to.
Is that the difficulty though? Because as you say, people just want to win and they want it right now. Do you think it's a difficult message to impart when it's this patience and building and obviously a new era? Yeah.
I said we're going to have to win whilst building, and we're building without the results we currently want. So I understand it. And that's part of this job of any football club. More scrutiny and intensity here than most places, I would argue. But it's something you have to deal with. So, yeah, and I'll do that to the best of my ability until I'm told not to, like I said.
Yeah, you've said that a couple of times until you're told not to. Do you think there's any review?
No, you're going to ask me about my future. You've done it many, many times already this season, as have many. So, but it's the same answer all the time. Like, I can't control that. I don't have any control of that. I felt really well supported from everyone, including today, this morning. So I'll just keep focusing on what I can control, which is the players, the work, and we need to try and be better than we are.
It's now the international break. What do you work on? And also, do you feel that any type of future will be discussed in terms of your role?
Well, we have to work on what we think is important, but it's very difficult. We have a lot of players that go away, a lot of players that need some minutes. So we will address that and make sure they train enough and train very hard to be in a place to compete for us. And then when we come back in, we'll address this game and make sure we improve from it.
Appreciate your time.
Top man.
I don't even think deluded's the word, to be brutally honest with you. You can't just win, Ian. You're not allowed to just win. You can't just win. My argument, Ian, would be that if it's a case of you're grinding out 1-0 results for 6 to 8 months, then you can't just win all the time, because you will eventually come a cropper, of course. But what you have to do in the meantime, while you're not playing well, if you're the Rangers manager, is you have to beat Motherwell, you have to beat Dundee, you have to beat St Mirren, you have to beat Livingston, you have to beat Falkirk. And he's not. So what is he rambling on about?
I have no idea, because what I can remember is I grew up in the 90s. I'm very privileged to have grown up in the 90s, to see a very well-established winning Rangers team. And I remember the players saying, one of the end-of-season videos, saying that in one of those days, Archie Knox just come in. I'm not sure if it was Leeds or Celtic they were playing, but he just came in and went, just win. And that was enough. And they went out and they did the job. You can just win games. And particularly when you are going away to newly promoted teams, when you are playing the likes of Dundee at home. Motherwell, that can happen. Motherwell away, that can happen to any Rangers team at any point. It has happened over the years and it will continue to happen. Getting a point at their place, it happens. Get that. But Dundee at home, Falkirk, Livingston, all these a Rangers team, and I said it that in the comment, that team he's put out there today, on paper, when you look at it, if you're looking at those two teams side by side, that's a good enough team to dispatch Falkirk. Whether or not it's a good win or a bad win, but a win, you get that win. If all things are rosy in the garden and we're sitting top of the league, clear like Hearts are, 2 points clear of Celtic right now, and you grind out a 1-0 win, you say that is a championship team in the making. They've ground out a result. What we're doing is we look like a team that is fighting to make sure that it doesn't end up in a relegation battle, which is what is happening right now. I have no idea what he's talking about. It's not just here. Everywhere he's been, he's just not a very good manager, trapped trying to play a system that is no longer the fashionable system, but thinks he's somehow Pep Guardiola. And until he gets that out of his head, he's never going to work again, I don't think, after he leaves us. I think he's done in football management. The only way he works again is lower league England.
Surprised there'll be some stupid chairman that will want to take him on.
Man, at the end of the day, I would sooner. What was the guy that was at Aberdeen and at Motherwell and lost it in the crowd? I had his name earlier wrong because I said he was. I would sooner have him right now. But there's been some rank managers in Scotland, and I'd sooner have all of them than this guy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's seen a lot of fight and battle from the players, Craig. Again, I'll ask you the same question as Ian. I'm sorry, what game's he watching?
I'm glad he did.
For the majority of that game, Craig, the only team that were fighting and battling was Falkirk. The only team that were fighting and battling was Falkirk.
Yeah, the delusion, unfortunately, is off the scale with this one. I sat there almost with my head in my hands the whole post-match because I have no clue what he's on about. We were getting more comfortable during the game. Again, what game was he watching? I heard another reaction earlier, and we had no shots after they scored. So they were only going to score from a worldie like that. I'm sorry again. What game was he watching? They had plenty of chances early on that we should have been probably 2-0 down before we scored.
Because a better team scores 4 or 5 a day. Yeah.
He is absolutely, just delusional. And I sincerely think he was watching some random game on his iPad and thinks it's the game the game that's in front of him, because I've never heard so much pish in all my life, to be honest. How he can think that we were getting on, and the just winning bit, I get it, because people are like, oh yeah, we want to have swashbuckling football, but how about you just start by winning, and then we can get to just winning later on. How he wants to go in this thing where we're battering teams 4 or 5-0, and yes, we all want that, but I would happily at the minute just be grinding out games while we are building. Hearts have had a new manager. Hearts have had change. Hearts haven't had this issue. He just needs to go away and never come back. And there will be another team that will take a lump on him. It'll be a championship team or a League One team, because there will be. Chairmen always want to be bamboozled by a fancy PowerPoint, and he'll get another job like he has done here. So I don't think he'll disappear for the rest of his life. But yeah, he needs to disappear right now from this football club.
I mean, I'll come back to Martin's post-match in a wee second, Ian. Let's have a quick shift. Just before I do that, William Adam has joined as a channel member. Thank you very much, William, for helping to support the channel. We need it more than ever now. With Rangers just absolutely refusing to be a football club at the moment. David Greer with a super sticker. Thank you very much, David, for the support, my friend. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see that super sticker now. So thank you very much. I've got another few super chats as well that I'm going to come in a wee second, Dean. But before we go back to Martin, which is mostly what this show's going to be about, the players do need to take responsibility. I know that they're getting asked to do a certain job by a manager who has no clue what he's doing. But when you're a Rangers player on that park and you can see how much Falkirk are out muscling you, what Falkirk are doing, going constantly wide because they know that that's where we're extremely weak, you have to regroup as a group of players and come up with a plan yourselves. And I thought every Rangers player to a man today was shocking.
Every single one of them on the outfield was shocking. I'll give you that.
Yes.
Again, Butland, if not for Butland, we are probably talking about a 3-4-5-1 defeat again. Yeah, the players have got to take their level of responsibility for this because they were just, I mean, I don't know if it's a team of players that have just gone, I can no longer play for this guy until he's gone, we're not going to do it. Or it's a team of players that can't play the system. But those players today, for the most part, were a disgrace. I mean, Barron had moments. I thought Barron probably in the midfield was probably one of the better ones in that midfield. But that's not to say he had a good game, just to say he was the better one in the midfield. Gassama was annoying the hell out of me today. I would quite happily have taken him off at any point because he was just throwing himself to the floor every 2 seconds. It was awful. But nothing off the bench made it any better. The idea you go to your bench is to try and improve things, and nothing off of that bench made it better. And Dio come on and out-muscled. I wouldn't even call it out-muscled, just didn't care to get that ball. And nobody comes forward. They're all doing the Virgil van Dijk thing. Well, he can't dribble past me if I back off. It's awful. And it wasn't like it was just a period of the game. It was the entire 99, 100 minutes. Because obviously first half.
Minutes.
Yeah. Into the first half as well. You just knew if they were going to score at some point. It was just, can we get something? We have to score first, or we have to score at least one to be able to take anything. The stat he said, I put it up twice. I put it in the preview and I put it in the watch along. We haven't kept a clean sheet away from home since Boxing Day or before Boxing Day last year. We've conceded 23 goals in that time, scored 22, 0 clean sheets. That's awful for any Rangers team. Awful, and it's not getting any better. And the comment he made about that the older guys that have been here longer, it's historical. That's him saying, this isn't me. This is a thing that's embedded within the club that I can get rid of. He's not saying that he's the problem. He's saying that was already there, and it's not got nothing to do with him. Again,
today, Ian, was the first time that he said the squad's a reflection of me, so I need to take some responsibility, which is the first time he's ever said anything like that, because I think he knows he's going to get the sack. Yeah,
exactly. He's getting the sack, so he has to say something to make it look like he cares, and he doesn't. We all know that. No smiles, no flicking of the hair, none of that today. None of that smug look, I'm safe. No, the players are awful.
Plenty of smug look. But I did notice that he said, I need to take responsibility. Not I take responsibility. I need to take responsibility.
Yeah.
There is a difference between those two comments.
Well, yeah. I mean.
Needing to do something and actually doing it is completely different.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, maybe just looking at it a wee bit too much because of how much we really dislike him at the moment as Rangers manager. But Mikey Moore, Craig, is a young boy who I genuinely feel sorry for. I know that maybe I'm in the minority here, but I genuinely feel sorry for him. He should be nowhere near this Rangers team. He is not anywhere near ready to play in Scottish football, and Russell Martin continues to select him, right? Because there is quality there if you play in a league where you're allowed time and space on the ball. He's not allowed time and space on the ball in Scotland. He cannot do it. He should be nowhere near this Rangers first team.
No, I said earlier in the group chat when the game was going on that I know he's a bit of a whipping boy at the minute, but I actually genuinely forgot he was playing at one point. he picked the ball up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, shit, Mikey Moore's playing." I completely forgot that he was playing. He had that one little thing early on where he was offside. Obviously that set up Gassama putting it in. Obviously it was ruled out for offside. Apart from that, I don't really remember him doing much, and I do feel sorry for him because, like you say, he's a young boy who, when he was at Spurs, he was playing sporadically, and he's got a lot more time on the ball. Players back off in the Premier League give you a bit of space. Up here, they just don't do that. The first tackle he gets hit with, which I think was probably St Mirren. I remember Gogic having him, and he seemed to just shrink the rest of that game. And I do feel sorry for him because he should not be in a position where he's being forced to play games of football. He should be coming on the last 15, 20 minutes when we should be comfortable in games. We should be comfortably winning matches. He can come on when teams are tiring, give him a bit of time. But the boy at the age of 18 should not be starting games for a club like Rangers. And most other teams in the SPFL, if he come to, that's a different story. But he should not be starting games for Rangers.
No, he shouldn't. He really, really shouldn't. And Ian, I don't want to go into too many players because we've got 2 weeks of content now to fill. So I'm just going to, in regards to the players, I'm going to finish up on Nico Raskin. Now, there's a lot of people saying that the players have gave up on the manager, right? Which I could believe. But that doesn't excuse for me poor performances. It really, really doesn't. If you're wearing that Rangers shirt, you're going out there and you're playing for the support. You're not playing for the manager, you're playing for the support. And I think for that's maybe 2 or 3 games now. I think we can look at Nico. I know obviously he didn't like the pitch today. He kept slipping. He couldn't get the ball under control. But that's 2 or 3 games now, Ian, where we can look at Nico and go, no, you're slipping again. You need to get your head back in it.
He does. It's probably you go back to, I think, probably last season, the start of last season, when Nico was getting games and people were saying, "No, do you know what? Just sell him before the window shuts. Sell him before the window shuts. He's no good to us. He's not going to be a Rangers player." And then things went on and changed for Nico because he actually got his head down. I mean, a part of that might be down to the fact that Barry came in and played down to Raskin to get the best out of him. I don't know. We'll never know the ins and outs of it. But yeah, today he was awful. I think at one point he gave the ball away, and the fact and Falkirk should have taken advantage by scoring. If it was, like you say, a better team on a better day, they'd probably score that chance and not put it past the post. He wasn't alone. There was lots of others. But yeah, Nico, if he's got back in. He's got back in after being unceremoniously dumped out by Russell Martin in the first place. He's put his head down, he's got back to work, he's got back in. The least you've got to do now is show us that you want to play. If you don't want to do it for him, do it for us. Do it. It's your livelihood at the end of the day. And if you play poorly now in front of us, your World Cup's done. You're not going. Simple as that. If you want to play in the World Cup, play football, do well. At the end of the day, we all know he's going to be here longer than Russell Martin, because hopefully by the time I wake up tomorrow at the very latest, he's gone. But yeah, you need to play better. And just to chuck one more in, I know we're not going to talk about all players because we need content. Theo Asgard came on in the second half. The only time I knew he was actually there is because they showed him on the screen coming onto the pitch. After that, I don't think I heard his name again.
No, an absolute empty jersey. I don't know.
I was about to say,
if I knew, can a new manager, Craig, come in and do something with Asgard, or is he just not suited at all to Scottish football?
No, I believe a new manager could come in and do a lot of these players. I do not for one moment believe we've signed 14 duds. Absolutely not. I mean, Rangers have had poor recruitment over the years, but even that would be some going to get 14 duds over the summer. The likes of Asgard, Bajovski, even Chimiti, I think a new manager could get something out of these players. I think even a Max Aarons could be reinvigorated under a new manager, because he would actually be able to do the job that he's there to do. But it's not going to be this manager. Absolutely not. David Edgar's just put a spot on tweet that sums the whole thing up. And I've just had a quick read, and we couldn't sum it up even any better.
We'll read it out then.
The only reason he's holding on is because, let me read it out a minute.
I mean, this is great content.
The reason Russell Martin is clinging on is he knows he's destroyed his reputation. He's done. He's the poster boy for style over substance. philosophy. Results aren't everything. Football that was in vogue with football clubs. The thing is, that's over. Everyone can see the emperors are naked. Supporters saw through it quickly, but it entranced club owners, including ours. He's become the butt of jokes, not just up here, but in England too. Any club there trying to hire him will face a massive backlash. So I get why he's clinging on, but what is unacceptable is him being allowed. Is him being allowed to.
Yeah, see, I said exactly the same thing at the beginning of the show. I just didn't put it as eloquently as that.
That's the difference between you and David. It's just, yeah.
See, that I've just not read enough books. That's the problem. That's the problem. Listen, there's a lot of rumours going about that he's gone. I can tell you there's nothing official on that yet at all. There is absolutely nothing official. There's been rumours of board meetings tonight. Again, nothing officially confirmed. So all I would say to everybody is do not get your hopes up. Because until we hear something official or somebody in a position who has information lets us know, somebody who's got an ear to the board lets us know, do not get yourself hyped up for it, because if it doesn't happen, it's only going to make you feel worse. So just go with the assumption right now that he's still the Rangers manager until you hear any differently. But yeah, I mean, Ian, getting back to his post-match comments, more comfy as the game went on. Again, I'm sorry, I could just keep asking you the same question for an hour. More comfortable as the game went on. Again, what game's he watching? Like, after we scored for maybe 5 minutes, we might have been able to get another one. Again, newly promoted Falkirk team that had not a lot of quality, a lot of heart, a lot of dig, a lot of desire, not a lot of quality. And when you seen us attacking, you could see the deficiencies in our defence and their midfield. You could see it all. But we get more comfortable as the game went on, Ian.
Uncomfortable as the game went on, then I'd have believed what he had to say. We were more uncomfortable the further the game lasted. I'd say I was comfortable on the sofa to the point where I was having to be kept awake. So, and the only reason I stayed awake is because I was doing this, much like the only reason Craig watched it is because he was doing this. He's just, I get he's, as a media trained person these days, he's not going to come out and go, do you know what, we were awful. We deserved nothing. We got away with one. He's never going to come out and say that. And I think that's what's been lost in football, because managers back in the day would come out and say, look, we've got away with that. We'll take the point, we'll go off, we'll look at it, and we'll see what we can do to improve it, because this is nowhere near good enough. Walter would have done it. Ian Holloway does that still, mine to be fair, but I wouldn't have him at the club. But he's doing it for his own ego, because no one's fooled by it. We're not fooled by it. Anyone who watched that game today is not fooled by it. Those in the crowd are not fooled by it. And I think slowly but surely, those upstairs are beginning to realise that they have been fooled by it and going to have to make that change. As you say, people can interview well, and he obviously knows how to interview, and that's how he gets this job. Because I can't believe that after 7 interviews, he was the only one that they wanted to bring into this club, because there's no chance there wasn't a better candidate than him. I just don't think the rest wanted to come, because we were such a terrible show. See, I'll say saves you the swearies. So,
have we still got free swear words available?
Yes, I'm not wasting it on that. But yeah, there's no way that other people didn't interview that were worse than him. I just don't think they wanted to come because of the mess we were in as a club at the time. And that's the only reason he got the job. And hopefully,
I cannot believe, Ian, that you don't think our recruitment process is up to standard. I mean, of all the people we interviewed for the head of youth development, it was clear Kevin Felwell's son was the absolute best for that job, and I will hear no different from anybody.
And I look forward to the Dundee United game.
Dare make fun of our recruitment process.
And I look forward to the Dundee United game when Mr. Felwell's wife plays in the number 9 shirt up front alongside nobody.
Yes, because we've sold Chermiti for 5 pence and a packet of crisps. There we go. Graham Brownlee on YouTube, channel member as well. Thank you very much for the super sticker, my friend. Thank you for the support. If you're on YouTube, you can see that in the comments. Thank you very much. And Fraser Boyd as well, channel member, with another super sticker. These super stickers are flying, and thank you very much, Fraser. And we have a brand new channel member as well, and Hoggy75. Hoggy, thank you very much for the support, my friend. There's going to be a lot of members content coming your way during the international break. Some Q&As, some watch-alongs, some just Friday night beers, I think, is what we're going to start calling it on a Friday night with the members, because it's really, really, really getting to that point. And Paul Robertson, channel member as well, thank you very much for the super chat. Martin, I'm going mental on the Rabble tomorrow. Sorry, mate, but I am. And the last final words, which I'm not going to use because I want to keep my free swear words just in case. Paul is, of course, referring to the morning Rabble, which is available for all members Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 10 a.m. on our YouTube page live. And then it is uploaded to our Patreon community as well shortly after it is done. So, Paul, look forward to speaking to you tomorrow, my friend. We've got a few more super chats there. Blue Tie is actually saying there's a board meeting tonight. I've not heard or seen anything about it, but I sincerely hope there is, Blue. It would make us a lot happier. And William Graham, thank you very much for the super chat, William. The outside noise thing really annoys me in interviews. Us fans are the outside of whatever club. Someone needs to get the... I'm going to use one of the swear words. Someone needs to get the shit on the inside out. Craig. We are the outside
that
noise.
That doesn't count though, because you're just repeating what someone has said. In
No, that counts as a swear word.
Yeah, I think the fact that, and we've seen this before, that he goes after the fans, he goes after the mentality. It's just the same thing every time. It's just boring. The manager's just out of his depth. Not only him, but obviously needs to be questions asked about people within the club as well. I just can't believe it took 7 interviews to get down to the point where he was then the manager that they wanted. And I can't believe that there would need to be a board meeting tonight to just decide that, right, they can give him his papers. All the legal stuff can come later on, the settlements and etc. But you can make that decision without a board meeting if that's what they're looking to do. It just doesn't bode well for what's going on at the club. And the longer it goes on, the questions will go higher up at the club.
Yeah. I don't understand that question, Scott, so you'll need to ask me it again in proper English, my friend. So I understand exactly what you mean. William, thank you very much, my friend, for the super chat. And here's somebody, Ian, who feels the same way that you did watching that. I actually fell asleep watching that draw. It's not the only time doing that. No urgency, no fight in the team. And P.S. Love the NFL jersey. I collected them too. Well, there's people we know life collecting NFL jerseys. Craig, I'm right. I'm absolutely right. But Ian, Ian, falling asleep watching it. It's so predictable. It's so boring. It's the same every single week. We get beat off of an average Sturm Graz team we would never have. That would have been a guaranteed 3 points in the Europa League in games before. And there is no urgency and no fight. And that isn't just Russell Martin. It's like 95% Russell Martin. But the players don't get a free pass either.
Oh no, they absolutely don't. I mean, they're the ones who once they go onto that pitch, that they're the only ones who can actually do anything. Russell Martin's done his bit at that point, so they go out there, and if they think it's not working, then they've got the wherewithal to actually go, boys, this isn't working. Let's do something different. I don't know if the worry is that if they do that, they don't get to play, because that's the only reason I can assume that Curtis isn't in the squad anymore, because at St Mirren he decided to do something for the betterment of the team and not listen to what Russell Martin said and scored. And we haven't seen him since. That St Mirren game pretty much was it. We haven't seen him since then. So whether they're afraid that if they do their own thing to try and get back into games, that they're going to get kicked out of the team. And they've already seen more than one player at the team get booted out. I went for another word there and then I lost it. But the players have to take responsibility for their actions as well. As much as we all have and continue to despise Russell Martin being in our club, at the end of the day, the players have got a job to do, and they're quite obviously not doing that for whatever reason that is. But yeah, they have to take the responsibility. They have been awful, particularly in the last few weeks. They've been terrible. Demi
said it though. He can't drop them all in. You can't drop them all from the team.
No, you really can't. And as that person who watches says,
then.
Great name, by the way. And thank you very much for the super chat. It's some name. Can't take much more of these professional footballers. And I want to add it into another super chat, but I'm going to take this on its merits on its own, Craig. Again, the players don't get a free pass. I thought they were absolutely dreadful today.
Yeah, that name can't beat Titty Biscuits. Titty Biscuits is the best name on the pod.
I don't know that gives it dun 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 dun.
Yeah, none of these players. How many years have we said this for? That these players don't get a free pass. These aren't all new players he's brought in. Yes, he had 6 of the team that he's brought in, but you've still got Butland, you've still got Tav, you've still got Suter, you've still got Raskin. These are players that have been here a very long time and have got more than enough experience. So yeah, they don't get a free pass. And I think it's been said a while back that it's continued, this Rangers team only tend to score or perform when they have to, when they're behind in a game or they're under the cosh a little bit, rather than when they want to or to put games to bed. We couldn't
take control of a game against Falkirk, Craig.
No,
Falkirk.
No. And that you have to think, does that come from the players or does that come from ultimately comes from the manager? Because yes, we can say he doesn't maybe get them to go out and play like this, but he's obviously not doing anything different. If by now, 7 games in the league season, this isn't the anomaly, this is the norm, you'd think he could be doing something different. And if he's still there in 2 weeks, oh my God, I can't imagine what they'll be like in 2 weeks with 2 more weeks on the training ground.
Right, I know that we're being deadly serious on this show today and we're all fed up and annoyed, right? But I know that's meant to be the Rocky theme tune, right? But Gallant has pulled it out the bag. His username sounds like the start of an EastEnders theme song. Dun, 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 dun. That is still the EastEnders theme tune.
I think he means it's the duffs at the start, like do, 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 and then into it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's talk about that more. It's much better.
I think we need an answer. I think we need an answer from him.
Can confirm what his name is meant to be? I'm pretty sure it's Rocky, but it might be. And Charles is asking. It could be Pirates of the Caribbean. And Charles is asking everybody in the morning rabble to not go mental because he'll be at work. Charles, thank you.
No. Charles is saying don't go mental. He'll be at work. He's like no grammar. Dead weight.
Yeah,
Charles, just useless.
If you heard Charles talking, right, you would think he had the best grammar. You very much would. Yes.
Does Stuart sound pretty common?
He does. He makes Stuart sound like me. Is what he does. Lockeye, the view, super chat, thank you very much. Big supporter of the channel. It's a reflection of him. Boring, dour, slow, and repetitive. If he keeps saying the players are the problem, they will start believing it and perform poorly, which is what Ian is super chat I wanted to kind of lock in with dun 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 about the players being professional. I mean, a lot of it I think is down to the way that Russell Martin trains them and asks them to play.
And I'm assuming that there was no pun intended by the fact you wanted to lock in that super chat with the other one. It is.
I wish I was that smart, Ian.
I think we've kind of gone over that over and over and over again. It is the reflection on him. It is the players are his reflection going out onto that pitch. But we're all professional. We've all done things in our own work where we go, well, I don't like the way that goes. I'm going to do it slightly different just to make sure that it does work. So, the players do have that responsibility. But I mean, it all falls, and every manager at the end of the day is going to fall before the players do, because you can't sack an entire team. So the manager's going to get it at the end. They walk into this every single week playing the same way, hearing what we're saying. It has to have an effect on them, but it's up to them to change it. I don't think these players can change it unless the man at the top is gone. And until that day happens, you're going to continue to see these performances because they're just going to have to go off what he wants them to do, which is nowhere near good enough. Southampton saw that. They got rid of him. I'm not sure whether he lost his jobs at MK and Swansea or if he just moved from one to the other and they got away with it. But you can't disagree with either comment, to be fair.
No, you really can't. As Ian Thompson's saying, poor guy right now thinking, I told you, Mum, that name you gave me was mental. So there we go. Lockeye, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Thank you for the support. I'm trying, folks, to make this a little bit more fun. than it really should be, because we're absolutely just completely fed up with the negativity, with Russell Martin, with the players, with the club, with everything right now. It is not fun right now being a Rangers supporter. It really, really isn't.
Well, someone's just called Ian Phil Mitchell, so that makes it a bit funnier.
Somebody else called him Bianca, which was great. Ricky!
That's all. I don't know which one I prefer to be.
I'm not very good at English accents, to be fair. I mean, the only thing I can say in an English accent is Birmingham. It's the only thing I can say, and I can't even say anything else.
That is not true, because you said something walking into a pub in Gloucester and very, very proud Gloucester.
Yeah. I forgot about that. All right, my liver. I forgot about that.
You also said something before the pod that was a bit on the nose as well.
Can't be repeating that. That's only because I lived in Gloucester for 2 years. That's how I can say, all right, my liver. But I used to be able to say it better than that. Yarp. Right. Final question to the two of you. Craig, mate, I'll start with you. Will he be gone during the international break? Will he be sacked?
I'm anticipating that the minute we go off, 5 minutes later, there'll be an announcement coming out. My heart says yes. My head says no. Sadly, because I think they'll just double down and won't want to admit they've made a mistake.
In fact, Ian, before I get your answer, right? Sky Sports on Twitter. Let's have a quick look at this, and I want to get everybody's thoughts on it very, very quickly. I wasn't going to show it, but let's do it.
We have a situation here, I think, at the stadium where Rangers bus is trying to get out, but it has been blocked in by supporters. The players are still inside the tunnel. They've not been able to get onto the bus, and it's had to come in a different way, the bus, to try and get the players out onto the bus and disperse the fans. And David, these are the signs, the things that we don't want to see in football. And again, it's the supporters just venting their frustrations at the situation that their club are in. But ultimately, for the players, for Russell Martin, they're going out there trying to do their best week in, week out. It's not happening at the moment. We know that. It's difficult to see these sorts of scenes happening.
And it's never the answer. I think it obviously tells you how emotions are and how the feelings run about the club at this time. That's not, that doesn't work for anyone. It doesn't help anyone, and it doesn't improve anything. But it does tell you the emotion. You can sense the emotion in the stadium coming into the stadium today as well. That people aren't happy. But we don't want to see scenes like that or hear about things like that. So hopefully they can get that solved. And as you say, the players are coming to work. They're doing their best, and they should be able to leave their work in the same way.
Yeah, you agree?
Oh,
weeks now. They pay good money to go and watch the football team. Listen, there's ways to protest, there's ways to go about things, but they've had enough. I mean, they have had enough. They're sick to the back teeth of the same excuses being churned out week after week, the same performances, but you can't condone that.
I didn't realise it was going to play the Chris Boyd bit at the end, because it was a very, very short clip, Ian. Can't condone that, according to Davy Weir and Chris Boyd, but the fans have had enough.
The fans have had enough, and they're going to do things. At least we're not picking up the big silver things in front of them and throwing them at people, because we lost one game, or dropped points. So, we're not doing that. But they've got to make their feelings felt in some way or another. So if they're doing it like that, they're doing it like that. What we could do as a club at this point, we could do a double whammy here. We could get rid of Russell Martin. We could get rid of Thelwell. And the man that was just talking there, Sir David O'Weir, can just sit in that seat, take the job, and find us someone who can do the damn job properly. Because I trust him to do it. But I don't think I'm going to get everything I ever want. So neither of those two things will happen.
I think we should also point out that there was no violence at it. It was simply just supporters standing around a bus. There was no violence. It was like a protest in a way. So, I mean, I don't condone violence of any kind, but that wasn't violent. That was just supporters standing around a bus. Now, all right, it's going to make the players late home and stuff like that. But, I mean, if that's the biggest thing that it causes, then, Craig, I mean, it's literally fans standing around a bus telling the team that they're shite.
Yeah, that's a big inconvenience. They should be used to that by now. They've had that.
I wonder if they'll get paid overtime. I wonder if they'll get paid overtime on top of their thousands of pounds a week.
They've had that in the stadium. It's no different to being told they're shit outside the stadium, is it really? they're just trying to make it into an inconvenience. And I'm sorry, but this isn't the sort of thing that people do not want to see. That phrase should be thrown into room 101. Oh, it's the cyber scenes we don't want to see in the world today. I'm sorry, but it's people standing around a bus, stopping the bus, getting out. Similarly, the fans would have spotted Russell Martin getting into a car and would have tried to stop him getting out of the stadium to vent. The people doing it because they're annoyed and they want to vent in some way. So what they're going to do, they're going to go and vent at the bus. And
by the way, as people saying, it's just football, blah, 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 it's just a game, blah, 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 that's all well and good. Fans spend thousands of pounds every year to go and watch this team, to follow this team, to buy merchandise, to support the players, to support like the Rangers Charity Foundation or the Rangers Youth Development. Fans spend an awful lot of money, and they're within their rights.
And that's when it becomes personal.
Express their opinion.
Becomes personal to fans when they spend that much money.
It really does. Maybe they were protesting it was a Parks bus. No comment on that, Vix. Absolutely no comment on that. I didn't work for Parks for a very long time, but I did not enjoy it. But thank you very much. Thanks for the super chat. And James Cameron as well. Just as well for the Union Bears, Martin Douglas wasn't driving the bus. No, I was told very soon when I started at Parks that I would never be able to drive the Rangers bus. So there we go. James, mate, thank you very much for the super chat. So final question, Ian, that I asked Craig a few minutes ago. Will he be sacked during this international break, or will we be turning up at Dundee United with Russell Martin as the manager?
I hate to say it, but I think you'll turn up at Dundee United. Are we away to Dundee United or at home? I don't know. I can't remember now.
Do you know what? I should know. But
It's
you know what?
Ibrox,
Right now, I
it's
don't
at Ibrox.
really
We're
see
at
it.
home. So I think we're turning up at Ibrox and he's still there. He shouldn't be, but I just got a weird feeling he is. If he doesn't go now, be prepared for him to still be there in May when the season's over and we are probably relegated to the Championship.
I mean, we're in 8th, man. After 7 games, we're in 8th. Right, folks, that will do us for this reaction. Thank you so much to everybody who sent in a super chat, everybody who commented, everybody who has hit that like button and subscribed, and to the new members who joined tonight as well. We need your support as much as possible, and your support you are given in your droves. So thank you very, very much, folks. It really does mean a lot. Ian, thank you very much. Craig, thank you very much. And yeah, folks, so as of 7 minutes to 8 on a Sunday night after Rangers draw 1-1 with Falkirk, Russell Martin is still the Rangers manager. Hopefully by the time you're listening to this back on audio or whatever, he's not. But we can't guarantee that. So until tomorrow, folks, enjoy the rest of your Sunday if you can. And yeah, we'll speak very, very soon.